Have you ever felt stuck in certain emotions, reactions, or memories that just won't go away? What if I told you that past experiences could be silently shaping your thoughts, actions, and even your health? Today, we're unraveling the hidden impact of trauma, what it really is, how it affects you, and the proven ways to heal. Stick with me till the end, because this could be the key to unlocking a healthier, more empowered version of you. Trauma is the body and mind's response to deeply distressing or disturbing events that overwhelm our ability to cope. It's not just about what happens, it's about how we process and internalize it. Trauma can affect our thoughts, emotions, behavior, and even physical health. It's not just limited to extreme situations like war or violence. It can come from personal experiences, accidents, or even consistent stress in relationships or work. Did you know that trauma is one of the most underestimated public health issues? According to the World Health Organization (WHO), over 70% of people worldwide experience at least one traumatic event in their lifetime. Injuries, many of which are traumatic, contribute to over 4.4 million deaths annually. Violence-related injuries result in about 1.25 million deaths each year. Trauma is not just a personal struggle. It's a global crisis affecting millions. Trauma isn't just about what happened in the past, it's about how it shapes the present. If left unaddressed, it can increase the risk of mental health disorders like depression and anxiety, lead to physical health problems, including heart disease and chronic pain, affect relationships, making it hard to trust or connect with others. This is why recognizing and addressing trauma is crucial. Acute trauma comes from a single shocking or distressing event. Examples include a serious car accident, natural disasters like earthquakes or floods, and witnessing a violent crime. Chronic trauma is caused by long-term exposure to distressing situations. Examples of this are domestic violence or abusive relationships, childhood neglect or emotional abuse, and long-term workplace harassment. Complex trauma involves repeated exposure to multiple traumatic events, often at a young age. Examples include growing up in an unstable or abusive home, repeated exposure to war or conflict, and survivors of human trafficking or sexual abuse. The impact of trauma is not always immediate. Some people only realize its effects years later. If you or someone you know is struggling, look out for these warning signs. Emotional symptoms include intense fear, sadness or anger, feelings of guilt or shame, and mood swings. Physical symptoms can be fatigue or constant tiredness, insomnia or nightmares, and headaches or unexplained body pains. Cognitive symptoms might involve difficulty concentrating, intrusive thoughts or flashbacks, and memory problems. Behavioral symptoms include withdrawing from family and friends, avoiding reminders of the trauma, and sudden changes in appetite or sleeping habits. If you notice these signs, seek support. You don't have to go through this alone. Important? If you or someone you know is experiencing severe trauma symptoms, please seek professional help. Trauma recovery often requires guided therapy. The following strategies are helpful, but they do not replace the expertise of trained professionals like psychologists, therapists, or psychiatrists. Now let's talk about practical ways to heal. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, helps reprogram negative thought patterns and teaches coping skills to manage distress. For example, imagine someone who has been through childhood emotional abuse. They might have a deeply ingrained belief that they're unworthy or not good enough. In CBT, the therapist would help them identify this negative thought, challenge its validity, and replace it with a healthier belief like, I am worthy of love and respect. Over time, this process helps them rebuild their self-esteem and emotional resilience. Eye movement. Desensitization and reprocessing, or EMDR, uses guided eye movements to help the brain reprocess painful memories and reduce their emotional impact. For instance, consider a person who was involved in a traumatic car accident. Every time they try to drive, they experience overwhelming anxiety or panic attacks. In EMDR, the therapist would guide them through a series of eye movements while focusing on the traumatic memory. Over several sessions, this process helps to retrain the brain to reduce the emotional intensity of the memory, making it less intrusive and easier to manage. Medication, such as antidepressants, can also be necessary. Sometimes, trauma-related anxiety or depression needs medical support. For antidepressants, examples include fluoxetine, Prozac, and sertraline, Zoloft. For example, a person who struggles with anxiety and panic attacks due to trauma might be prescribed sertraline. This helps stabilize their mood, allowing them to better engage in therapy and everyday activities. Supportive therapy and safe spaces are also crucial. Social connection is critical for trauma healing. Examples of supportive therapy include joining a trauma support group, whether online or in person, faith-based counseling or pastoral care, and mindfulness and meditation practices. The right support system makes a huge difference in recovery. Healing from trauma is possible, and you're not alone in the journey. Psalm 147:3 says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." This verse reminds us that God is always there to mend our broken hearts and heal our deepest wounds. Trusting in Him can lead to complete and whole healing no matter what you've been through. Now that you know how trauma affects the mind and body, what's your biggest takeaway? Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you, please like, share and subscribe for more insights on mental health and healing. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. What's one thing that has helped you manage stress or trauma in your life? Share in the comments. Don't forget to turn on notifications for the next episode. Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you are struggling, seek support from a licensed therapist or healthcare provider.